Hello everyone, thanks for the great response to the trading plan video series. This is already part 5. I'm thinking of extending this for a couple of weeks because of the great response. We talked about setting goals and how to start, how to set up trading. We talked about the use of price action, trend lines, horizontal lines in the form of support and resistance. We talked about the use of indicators, of course. And we actually last week we talked about how to enter a trade, how to exit a trade, maybe on a stop loss, maybe on your take profit, how to move your stop losses to maximize your trade without losing your money. We've talked about risk management a lot last week, where to enter, where to exit, how to look at the markets when you actually are managing an open position. I think now it's time to talk about actual trading strategies. The first one I want to go into with all the information I gave you in the past weeks is swing trading. The basics is very simple. Markets move in waves, never in straight lines. So when we see a trend going up, we see a move to the upside, a small pullback, a move to the upside, small pullback. Of course, in a real market this looks a little bit more choppy. Let me show you guys. For example, over here on this US dollar Swiss franc chart, let me point it out with a let's just use a line over here. We can see, ignore this one, this was probably a news event or something. Price started moving up. We see a higher high, another higher high with the higher lows. So this is the first swing we see here, and a pullback. We re-enter in swing trading. Then we have another swing over here and a pullback, so we re-enter. Then we have another swing, I think around here, and a pullback, so we re-enter as well. Oh, that's strange. Let's just do it like this. Second one, and then we move up to here. So this, and we see a pullback. This one is moving sideways for quite some time, but no problem, we can still re-enter, etc. So these are the one wave, one swing, another swing, pullback, another swing higher, and a pullback, another swing higher, and a pullback, and another swing higher. So this is the same thing on a live chart. The first thing you have to know is the direction of the trend. We have uptrends and downtrends, very obvious. When the market is moving up, we are going to ride into a new high. Then on the pullback we re-enter and we go into a new high. Here is a nice place to enter a swing trade, and we go again, etc. If you want to take your profit over here, re-enter, take your profit over here, or do you want to let it run, we'll go into that later, but that's for an uptrend now. Downtrend is the same thing, but then we go short all the way over here. We re-enter on a pullback and go short again. We re-enter and we go short again. So this is the theory in defining a trend. Is an up or a downtrend. There are also there's another way the market can move. Let me show you. This was the swing I pointed out. The first swing, the second swing, etc. But sometimes we get into a situation where markets just move sideways. Consolidation, that's also called consolidation. We don't have actually higher highs or higher swings. Here it looked like we were going lower, but it didn't. This support line held and it moved up. This whole situation here, if you're a swing trader, this is nothing you want to trade, because this is a sideways market, no swings here to catch. Now that you know what the trend is, another thing that's very important is draw trend lines. That's not just important so you know, it's pretty obvious that you point out that it's a downtrend or an uptrend, but there is another thing to it. Let me show you on the live chart as well. Let me show you over here what happens when you draw in trend lines. We can see a move from here all the way up here. We have a couple of touches, which is great. We have one touch, second and a third touch. This is a good thing. As you can see, let me give this one another color so you guys can see exactly what I'm looking at. This is it. So the first pullback touched this trend line, and then we moved away from it. Oh, then we moved away from it. Then we came close to the trend line, which was, and of course we see a horizontal line here as well. It touched this support, and we moved again near the trend line, and comes near the trend line. So this trend line doesn't just tell us that we're in an uptrend, but we also know that when price moves back into this trend line, we have to get ready to re-enter. So that's another thing trend lines tell us. And the next thing we do is draw in support and resistance lines. Why do we do that? This move we can look in the future. So when price was over here, we didn't know what was coming. We had the previous price, so we draw in those lines. This was a support line here, resistance later on, support over here, resistance later on. Here it was a little bit of support, here it's resistance, here price struggled, but here it was resistance, support, support, resistance, and here this line broke and price moved pretty aggressively. So this is important information, because what you see is once price turns around, it moves up and finds support again on the same line that previous resistance or support was. This is a nice way to re-enter. Then price moves, breaks through the resistance line, then it becomes support again. Price struggles around support, which is information for us. Let's re-enter, and we go. Here again, previous support is now support again, so we re-enter around that support line. We actually touch this trend line, so we really have to re-enter, of course, with a tight stop just below all those lines, so we manage our risk, and we can ride again. And probably price will struggle around this place as well. It break through, fall back on it, we re-enter, and we go again. Let me show you that on a live. This is the one we've been working on with the trend lines and the entry points. When we go back in history, of course, we want to see where we can draw in some interesting lines. We need some horizontal lines. Let me see this one. Here I see it was support, and it was support again, and here it was support again actually. So this to me is an important line. In the future we see a pullback around this area. It touched the trend line and price went off again. This one is also an important line to me. Let's see what that brings us. We see that price struggled. Price never came back or gave us an opportunity to enter, so this one didn't give us a signal in the future. This one is also an interesting one. A little lower. That's it. Price moved, broke the trend line, came back, fall exactly on the trend line. We re-entered and we go again. Very interesting. Another thing we talked about in previous weeks, of course, are indicators. We can add indicators to our charts. We don't trade indicators, keep that in mind. But also in swing trading, indicators can tell us something. On this picture I added a moving average. As you can see, price moves above the moving average very closely, then it starts to struggle with the moving average. Will it break or will it continue? This is actually in combination with this support a nice signal to re-enter. Price moved back up again, then came back, was struggling with this moving average again. The horizontal line support zone acted greatly again, so we re-enter and we go again. Let me show you that. Let me put in a moving average in this one as well. Let me see the moving average, this one, and yes, it's in. Okay, well, it's the blue line. Let me adjust that a little bit thicker, and let's make it pink as well so we can see exactly what it is. So as we can see here, price is moving below the moving average, then we start to struggle. Where's price going? Then starts to move above the moving average. Here we had a signal to re-enter in combination with the support zone and the break of the moving average. The struggle around the moving average is actually what's going on here. Then price moved up, came back into the moving average, re-enter, go again, came back, re-enter, go again, struggle with the moving average, go again. It struggles around here, took some time, but eventually it went off again as well. Well, we are nearing the end of the swing trading strategy. You know how to get in the markets right now. Of course, to me, risk reward, it's all about risk reward. In this picture, you can see the same trend, the same chart, just zoomed in a little bit. We used trend lines, we used the support resistance zones, but when the price starts to move over here, we want to go with the price. Of course, once those trend lines get broken, we want to get out. So this is a tight stop and a bigger potential gain. Here we want to re-enter. Of course, below these lows we put our stop, so that's a short stop loss and a nice move to the next resistance zone. It gets broken, so we have some more potential, and then it acts as a support zone around the trend line. We touch it and we move up again. So we enter around the trend line. We want to be out if the lows get broken, and we want to move up for a greater potential. So this is three times a great risk reward. Let me show you that on the live chart. Here we go. So we have those moments where price starts making new highs. This sorry guys, this resistance line gets broken, so we want to enter around here. We want to get out of this trade once these lows get broken, because to me that would be a nice point to get out. We enter here, so our first potential take profit would be around here, which is great risk reward. Then we re-enter, or we go in for another move around here. Of course, we want to get out once those lows get broken, and our potential would be, I think our first potential would be around here, because this is a first resistance zone. But oh well, let's keep it like that. Also, you don't have to take your full profit out. You can also leave a bit, but let's talk about that in the next step. And of course, here we can re-enter. You know where I'm heading with this. Previous low, it's around here, so around this point. So that's our stop. We start moving away, break this line, and then we start to guess a little bit where we think price will be consolidating. So when we see this pattern evolve, I think that would be a nice place to say, I think this is done. Touch of the trend line, get out. And then we have a third move over here. And the last slide on this one, maximize your profits. I really like these kinds of setups. Same chart. We talked about entering here, exiting here, entering here, exiting here, etc. Another thing you can do is place your first entry around here, let it go. If you don't see any reason why price should be reversing, re-enter when you get another signal that the trend line gets touched. You have two positions open. Here we see the same thing. Support holds, the trend line holds, it bounces, we re-enter and bang, we let it go again. So what you get in this picture is really less risk and a great, amazing potential profit that only gets bigger the longer the trend is going up. Let me show this one on live. So this is what I just discussed. Enter here, exit there, enter here, exit there. These are great trades, very safe, great. You know exactly where your stop should be. This is a great thing. But like I pointed out just in the previous one, combining your 1, 2, 3 trades, you can also have this move, which of course is amazing, because you don't only get a very long run in these entries, but you also get an added run. So it's 1, 2, 3 times the profit that you would have in 3 swings. Of course, when you re-enter those positions, always keep the same principles on your stop loss in mind. Matter of fact, this one, once you're over here, this stop loss of course moves along with the other stop losses, so you don't lose money that you already made. So that's it for today. That's it for this week. I think swing trading is an amazing strategy. It's one of my strategies that I use all the time. I wish you good luck, and well, please leave your comments, and I'm glad to help. Bye bye.